And we're back with Trent Fequet to talk about how Indigenous peoples find wholeness in their lives and the necessary pillars to manage stress. You have some models that we don't have, specifically the medicine wheel. Tell me about that and how that helps you live a more healthy, holistic life.
Yeah, the medicine wheel is very important in Indigenous culture for a bunch of different reasons, a bunch of different aspects. It's a tool that's used as far as individual mental health. As far as the four quadrants, as I maybe mentioned or alluded to earlier, it's, you know, the east as far as our emotional health, the north is our mental health, the west is our spiritual health, and then our south is our physical components. And those four pillars of as how we look through all things when it comes to our personal health.
So how do you see the medicine wheel addressing what you've gone through? Like, how have you implemented that into your life to try to help?
Spiritual components are very, 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 very important, obviously, in Indigenous cultures, all different ceremonies and different beliefs. But I think I over the last year or so, I maybe leaned so much to the spiritual side because everything else was out of control is maybe the wrong way to explain it, but things I didn't trust anymore and I couldn't lean on. Yeah. So in ceremony and obviously looking for support from the Creator, from God. Right. And I'm not going to say that I feel that failed me, but it came very clear through ceremony that the ceremony itself wasn't the solution. The solution was to step back and really look at the old me, my own identity, myself, my spirit. And coming out of that, knowing truly what I needed to do to make my whole again. But then, you know, when you're in a place where you need support, a lot of times it's you that needs to identify that you need that support. People are there to support you, but really, you know, they are supporting, but you don't see it. Mm-hmm. And, you know, through ceremony, especially in Indigenous culture, we have, and through sweats especially, we're able to leave from our reality and get pretty close to the Creator. And in that space, we see things and we're able to get enlightened. And for myself, through ceremony is where I was able to step back, press the tap button and say, look, I need some support. And yeah, so.
Is that the same thing that you kind of implement in your workers at your companies?
Like anyone, like any old cultures, you know, we're driven through wellness, we're driven through supporting of the community, and we're also driven by purpose and our why, and all through the lens of our core values, our beliefs. And my business, I operate that way, my business operates that way. When I think I lost myself, it was because I wasn't able to operate that way.
Interesting.
So that synergies and that connection as me as an individual is very, very, very closely connected to my business and the individuals I work inside of my business.
I think it's so important for people to have a framework like what you spoke about, a framework to help them understand, am I making sure I'm covering all the bases, mm-hmm. not just the physical and the wellness and the relational, but also, and we call it existence in our 5 keys, which are you in some way intentionally connecting with the divine who gave you your purpose, who has a plan for you, who has the success mapped out for you, if you're willing to connect with his roadmap. And so I think it's so important for people to truly have, in your case, a medicine wheel, or in some sense, a framework to say, this is how I can kind of take my pulse, check my temperature to make sure where I am right now.